Element 011 case study for ethical hacking and countermeasures SRD 1913221. We're going to begin by opening a terminal window in the Kali Linux machine and searching net discover to scan my network for active hosts. I'm going to compare the MAC addresses with the MAC addresses provided by Dead Duck Publishing Limited. And we can see that server 4 has an IP address of 192.168.9.133. We're now going to open a OpenVAS scan. We're now going to open a Greenbone Security Assistant scan. And run a scan on the network that we've discovered. So we've run the scan for 192.168.9.133. We're going to review the results. And we can see that there's some vulnerabilities in the machine, one of them being HTTP debugging methods trace track enabled. The remote web server supports the trace and or track methods. Trace and track are HTTP methods that are used to debug web server connections. This is a vulnerability that could be exploited. We're now going to run an Nmap scan to supplement the Greenbone vulnerability scanner. Nmap-SS 192.168.9.133. And we can see that we've got some ports open, port 22 SSH, port 80 HTTP, port 11 RPC bind, port 8000 HTTP alt. We can see that port 8000 is open, and we're going to run a DERB scan targeted to this port. DERB is an online directory scanner that searches web servers for hidden directories and pages. The DERB scan is now revealing some hidden directories. We're going to take a look at this first one. So in the browser, we're navigating to this directory, and we can see there's some information. There's a PHP setup page that's accessible. I'm going to have a look through, see if there's any information that we can glean. And sure enough, the username is accessible, and we have gleaned the username root using the DERB tool. Referring back to our scan results from Nmap, we can see that port 22 is open and it's SSH. And we're going to use a tool called Hydra to attempt to brute force the login with the newly learned username. Sudo Hydra -l root -p. We've now gleaned the username root from the accessible files, and referring back to our scan results, we can see that port 22 is open, secure shell. So we're going to use a tool called Hydra to attempt a brute force login. In the console window, I'm going to type sudo Hydra -l username root -p .txt -u -f, the IP address of the server, s port number 22, SSH. The -l indicates what we know the username to be, which is root. -p is the directory where the word list RockU is stored. We're using a word list called RockU, which originated from a large data leak in 2009, which contains over 14 million passwords from simple to complex. -u to the username, only using the username we have given. And we're using -f to tell Hydra to stop looking once a match has been found. Target IP address, and -s with the port 22 to stipulate the port number, and finally SSH as the module section. We're going to let Hydra run. I'm going to pause the recording because it may take some time. And now we have the password and the username. We're going to attempt an SSH login. Password puppet. And you can see we now have root access and we've exploited the machine.